So on March 13th, 2020, around 12:30 a.m., law enforcement made their way to Breonna Taylor and Kenneth Walker's home. Kenneth Walker is her boyfriend whom they were living together. They were living together, and it doesn't say how long they've been together, which it doesn't matter, but I think it's really beautiful to just, discuss the type of person that Breonna was. I feel like we always talk about the bad things in cases, but we really don't talk about all the good that they have contributed to their own personal lives. But as I was reading in an article, of course, everything will be linked down below for you guys. You can go and read it for yourself. Law enforcement states that they announced themselves when they got to Breonna's place. But Breonna's family states that these officers were in plain clothes and they did not announce themselves. Officers then broke into the home, and when they broke into the home, this is when they were met with gunfire. Kenneth actually fired at them that someone was breaking into the home. I mean, can you imagine 12:30 in the morning, and if they didn't announce themselves, if they're just banging on the door, or not even just banging on the door, if they're like not seizing up, but they're looking at your home and all of a sudden you hear this noise, I would be scared shitless. Due to the fire being shot off from Kenneth, police actually retaliated. Breonna was shot 8 times and she did not make it. Kenneth was arrested because they said, he shot at the police. They charged him with attempted murder. So the officers involved in this case were actually reassigned. They call it administrative reassignment until the investigation is done. So the family is represented by Benjamin Crump. He is a prominent civil rights attorney whom they have also stated is assisting the Aubreys as well. Family's lawsuit basically claims that law enforcement were searching for another individual. Well, this individual is facing drug charges. Well, the family's lawsuit basically claims that the Louisville Police Department was looking for a guy named DeMarcus Glover. Mr. Glover actually was being charged for drug and firearm possession and some other drug-related crime. But what's strange about that is he was already picked up. Glover actually lives about 10 miles away from Breonna's home, and there was no drugs found in Breonna's home at all. And Mr. Crump has basically stated that the law enforcement have not given any information pertaining to the case as to why they were to go to Miss Taylor's home when in fact Mr. Glover, the actual individual they were looking for, was already detained. Of course, the police department has not given a statement, and they did not have any body cameras on them because this particular law enforcement facility does not have them. It does not have them. This particular division does not utilize them. It's a shame because it makes me wonder, did they have the wrong address? And it's also such a shame as to why. I get why they went that late, 12:30 in the morning, because of course you think the individual is sleeping, all that good stuff, but it's like there wasn't a fact check on the address, or you didn't communicate to see that he was already detained. Yeah. And it sucks because now her boyfriend is going to harbor those emotions and those feelings because, he thought someone was breaking into the home and he shot, and then the police shot, and it ultimately cost his girlfriend her life, someone who had a major future. She was EMT worker on the front line. I was reading how they were saying that Breonna had dated Mr. Glover and they had a friendship still, nonetheless, because she was in a new relationship. But if that's not his address, you didn't even knock. My head hurt, child. It's like these cases just get so crazy, and it's like people comment and they say it's not about race. And it's like, until the world opens their big eyes and see the problem in the world, no, not always is there a race thing. But the thing about it is, we just want people to be served. We just want people to be held accountable in the actions that they take. And until we get to that point where Black people are not treated as a threat, or I don't feel like we will ever be able to come together in a full. And it's crazy because law enforcement just believed that Mr. Glover was putting these drugs in Taylor's home, but that wasn't the case at all. It's like, just because you know someone or that's an ex doesn't mean that you're involved in what they're doing. And I hate when people say, well, it's guilt by association, but she didn't deserve to die, regardless if they assume that it was guilt by association. She didn't deserve to die at all. So as I was reading, it said that police asked for a no-knock. It said that police asked for a no-knock warrant because they believe that big drug dealers were coming in and out of Taylor's home. But the family is suing for negligence of force and wrongful death. And that's pretty much the case about Breonna Taylor at the moment. There isn't a lot of info, but again, I feel like since this happened in March and it's just now really getting the national news, I'm pretty sure more things will unfold as we begin to watch this case. And I'm just sending her family love and light. I could not imagine, it's something that's so sad, especially because your child didn't do anything and they're out here trying to live and make a future for themselves, and their life just comes to an abrupt end over something that they probably didn't even have anything to deal with. And I most likely will turn the comments off on this video because I'm so sick of you guys commenting racist shit. So I'm gonna not even put the comments on, because it's ridiculous that we as Black people have to even feel like we can't say anything because it's, well, they were doing this. It's like, why do we have to consistently not make excuses, but always defend ourselves? Like, damn, right is right, wrong is wrong. And that's just the period of it is. And open your big eyes and see that Black people get treated 10 times differently than our counterparts. And that's just the reality of it. But nonetheless, like I said previously, the world will never be able to unite in one until we get justice for the things that occur and people get treated the same way as if we were to go and get locked up for like a serious crime. But nonetheless, I'm sending Breonna Taylor's family love and light. I really do hope that they're able to not move on, but they are able to know that they had such a brilliant daughter. She was doing great things. She had a full life ahead of her. And I know it doesn't take away the pain, but just to know that she was making a difference in the world is like something to be truly proud of. And despite her life coming to an abrupt end, we just have to sometimes really look at the good at what our children do or family member and go from there. So again, guys, I'm sending Breonna Taylor's family love and light, and I will see you guys in the next video.